How does a revolution work? This is a question I see many people asking, especially nowadays. With the current state of the US government, many people argue that dramatic change is necessary against these corrupt politicians. But while most people are interested, they're just not motivated enough because they don't know how to go about it. So here are a few things to remember. 1. A revolution always ends with war. The French and Russian revolutions are some well-known examples of this. With the French, their government was messy and chaotic. Their revolution led to 200,000 deaths in the war in the Vendée, which is the same amount of people involved in the American Revolution. Likewise, when the Russian Revolution happened, a civil war was sparked in its wake. About 10% of Russia's population at the time, that's 10 million people, were killed. Now imagine us starting a revolution right off the bat. 10% of our population would be equal to 35 million people, or 35 million possible deaths. That would be extremely terrible for the country. While modern conditions differ, these revolutions still show a consistent historical pattern that large-scale revolutions will certainly carry catastrophic human costs. 2. Revolutions don't begin in a day. Take a look at Nepal. People were able to overthrow the government in less than a week, but that didn't begin with fires and violence. It was brainstormed. The people unified under a common idea and planned a course of action. The reason why it's so difficult for us is because our nation is much, much bigger. Opinions and parties contrast. People argue about the cage instead of worrying about who locked them in it. And this leads to uproars and arguments that the government wants you to have. They want to control our fury to grow their power. First, know who the real enemy is, the entrenched systems of corruption and power, then realistically plan how power should be restructured. If a revolution doesn't have a clear course of action, then it will fail. 3. Not everyone wants the same ending. Even when we're unified and motivated, we will have different ideas of what to replace our government with. Some revolutions aim to completely dismantle the system, while others seek reform within it. Some people want equality, others want stability, and the rest simply want power. Once the common enemy is gone, allies may turn on each other, and unity will collapse. This is exactly what happened after many historical revolutions. They lacked the shared understanding of what the end goal is, and therefore couldn't lead the people to freedom. Instead, to confusion. Before we can talk about rising up, we have to know what we need out of this. We need to agree on what we're fighting against, and on what kind of future we're actually fighting for. So express that in the comments. Speak freely. What exactly would you think we should build? And most importantly, would most people actually want to live in that world? If we are serious about change, then we should start by answering these questions honestly, because this matters more than you think.